Hey guys, and welcome to hashtag I was here. Now in today's video, I know everybody's seen the title. I like to give reference to the title all the time because the title is the story. And today's story is the real and uncut and raw truth of being a Christian, really trying to still be with God in the middle of your insanity. And I want to give y'all the most uncut and raw edition of it all, because I feel like a lot of Christians, including myself in the past, have kind of made it seem like, oh, it's easy to come out of a dark space and just be like, well, I resurfaced, I'm delivered, I'm 1,000 times better. But in reality, no, that's BS. It's not true. That's not how anything happens, and that is specifically not how it works when it comes to depression or just high anxiety, fear, large emotions. It don't happen like that. Alright, so guys, the first question that I want to tackle is trusting in God in the midst of hopelessness. Is it possible? Alright guys, I'm going to give y'all a real Christian. I still believe in God. I still love Jesus. But I'm going to give y'all the truth. In the middle of your insanity, or for myself per se, in the middle of my insanity, in the middle of life being difficult, I cannot say that I'm smiling and still there like God is great. Because sometimes when you're going through life, when life is getting very difficult, you ain't smiling at God. You ain't thinking about God is so good. Your number one question is, God, where you at? I don't know what's going on. Let me know. You still here? You helping me out? You still care about me? You sure? Because I'm here and like you're like, whoop, over there. Where you at? You know? So is it possible is the question. It is possible, but it takes a lot of work, but it takes a lot of time, but it takes a lot of reading, a lot of intentionality. So can I say that as a Christian, I was always doing my best at that? Can I say that when life got dark, I didn't run from God? No. And the reason why I say that is because that's the real and uncut truth of it all. I can tell you 90% of Christians, when life gets difficult, they run for the hills. And it's not that, oh, we hate God or we're not really stable in our relationship with God. It's because the humanity aspect of us all is, all right, I love you when you're great, and I'm going to be transactional with you. Let's be honest. A lot of us are transactional with God. If you do this for me, I'm going to do that for you. But in reality, though, when life gets hard, it's God, I'm not sure you're here anymore. You know, I'm not sure that you're listening. And I know I'm going to receive a lot of backlash from the holier than thou Christians about my last statement. But it is what it is. It's the truth. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you felt that way about God? You didn't believe in God for whatever time period? You was thinking like this? You was thinking like that? Yes. Yes, I was. Yes. Yes, I had a dark moment with God. And the reason why I'm able to say that now is because the truth is, in any and every relationship, you are going to have a dark and down time. And especially with God, if you think that you're going to smile with God 100% of the time, that's a damn lie. The reason why I say that is because, and I realize, let me pause for a second. The reason why I love to say, the reason why I say that is because I feel like it's so important to be transparent. Don't make random statements and then just be like, well, yada, yada, yada. No, give detail. But backwards, backtrack, talking too much. Anyways, if you have a real relationship with God, you're going to have a downtime. Because in any and all relationships, there's always one point where you and whomever else are looking at each other like, why do I trust you? Why are you here? Leave me alone. Give me some space. You're annoying. You know, that is how it goes. And if you've never had like a dark time or dark moment with God, you don't have a relationship with him. Because how a relationship is formed a lot of times is through trials and tribulations. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. But that's a conversation for another day. But let's get back to our question. The question was, is it possible? It's possible. But it starts with 1 or 2 or 3 really dark moments where you get deep, where you get to the point where you question your presence, where you question your faith sometimes. And a lot of people see that as a negative thing. A lot of people see that as, I shouldn't be questioning my faith because I should be so strong in God and so on and so forth. But strength weakens. People lose their strength. Let's talk about Samson. You know, we get to that point. We get there. It happens, you know. And I'm here in this video to really be raw and honest with you guys about how dark it really gets when life gets tough. So now, guys, our next question is it feasible? And the word feasible really means, can you possibly do it easily, or conveniently? No. No. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us Christians, and I would say from the ages 1 to 16, 85 to 90% of the time, our relationship with God is created and solely based off of what we were raised in. And the reason why I say that is because we don't really venture off during that time. You don't get the opportunity to, because you're still at home, still told to get up and go to church, get up and do this, get up and do that. You have to do it because that's how your household was raised, that's how everything goes, and that's just that, right? As you get older, you tend to learn and realize that it's my job to seek God myself. How am I gonna do that? What am I gonna do? Where do I start? That's the biggest question of it all. Where do I start? And I'm gonna be honest and raw with you guys. For me, that kind of began in my sophomore year of college at the University of Albany. I had first time going away. Mom and dad left. Now it's time for me to do me. And that first year, it's not that I didn't want to go to church. I kind of didn't feel forced anymore. I didn't have anyone to tell me get up and go, you know. And even though my parents would sometimes call on Saturday mornings, nobody was telling me you have to be there, you have to go, you know. So during that time, I kind of really took that time to really try and get to know God for myself. Like a lot of my friends from college would tell you, like they would see me every Saturday wake up, reading my Bible, like literally reading. I read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, I can't say the whole Bible, but I think I read like 5 or 6 chapters. And in doing so, that gave me the motivation to really seek God for myself. Like, go, stuff, what's going on? You know, now you're getting the opportunity to know God, build a relationship with Him by yourself. Can you really do it by yourself? What are you doing? How do you start? Where do you begin? And for me, my beginning was during that time frame. It was, you know, deciding to get up and not go to church, but read the Bible every Saturday. And although, yes, that was my starter, I can't say that that's going to be everybody else's starter, because even after doing all of that, that kind of pushed me to get up and go to church more for different reasons, which we can talk about in another video. But last question that I had for you guys is, can you take it? Realistically, to answer that question, He wouldn't give it to you if you couldn't take it. He wouldn't give it to you if it would harm you. He wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't to build your character, to build your faith, to build your trust, to build you in any way, shape, or form. He would not give it to you, you know, if it was to harm you. And like, I know it's so hard to believe that when you're in the middle of it and you're not hearing Him. I know it's so hard to believe that when you want help, when you need help, and you feel like He's not listening. But one thing that I always learn to remember is that the teacher is always silent during the test. That's something that I have to continuously remind myself. Like, oh, teacher's always silent during the test. Maybe I'm going through a testing phase in my life where God is just quiet. And keep in mind, guys, a lot of times, your testing phase, it's not a day. It's not 2 days. It's not 3 days. It's not a month. It's not a week. Sometimes it's years of faith. And sometimes it's so hard to even see it. It's so hard to even realistically understand that there's such a thing as faith while you're going through what you're going through. But keep in mind at all times, and even if you forget this, rewatch my video when you're going through something crazy to remind yourself the teacher is always silent during the test. He's not absent, he's silent. Can't give you the answer because then you won't grow. So I'm so happy for whomever watched this video and really needed it. I needed this. And I wanted to remind and let everyone else know that it's feasible, it's possible, and you can take it.